All right, folks, welcome to the show. This is the Transport Managers Coach podcast, our very first episode. And I'm sitting down today with someone I know very well. He's actually my business partner, fellow entrepreneur, and a guy who knows the transport game like the back of his hand. It's Darren M.
Hey.
Hello, mate.
How you doing, mate? You're right. Great introduction. Thank you very much, mate. I'll put you that tenner for that, mate. That's for sure.
Yeah, no worries. I'm not practicing much, I promise. So, yeah, you're a transport manager. You run your own consultancy. You're a franchise. What are they called? You're not a franchise owner. You're the guy who sells the franchises to people, don't you?
I'm the Franshaw guy.
Franshaw guy, there you go. And together we've also launched a school community that's changing the game at the moment for transport managers across the UK. So today I was thinking we've got to talk a bit of shop, from the real world chaos of transport management to how Darren built his business, and then touch on a little bit at the end of what this whole school thing is really about. So let's get into it.
Top man, looking forward to it. Cheers, mate.
No worries, mate. Why don't we start at the beginning? So who were you before all this, before you entered the world of transport management and logistics and road haulage?
So I was officially a T-boy for the family-run business, going back from being 8 years old, driving lorries in and out of the yard, washing them, making people tea, and learning the ropes from there, basically. So, yeah, that was who I was. I'm still a T-boy today, but, yeah, that's who I was.
No, just making your own tea. That's
making the whole family. That's it.
And so what was that family business?
So that was a removal company in Maidenhead, Berkshire. A very successful business. Been running since 1879. My old man was not that old. My granddad brought it off Mr. Chandler himself way back in the day.
Oh, wicked. And did you work your way up into the office at all, or were you just on the lorries doing the removals? Were you doing any transport management for them?
So over the time, I didn't realise I was doing transport management, but yeah, I was helping. So obviously not 8 years old, but after I left school and that, I didn't have a clue what I was doing. My old man told me to come and work full time for him. I did try other job roles in between, but yeah, working for the family business, got my lorry licence and just sort of plodded along really. I didn't have a clue what I wanted to do, and got really, really stuck and didn't really have a clue. So got my lorry licence, started running the fleet. My brother was in the office. I was in and out the office and doing bits and bobs, and basically got to a point where I was running the show, keeping the lorries compliant. I didn't really have a clue that I was doing compliance at that time, but I was made to do it because obviously it's a family business and you kind of have to do whatever you're told to do, basically.
Yeah, nice. And is the business still going today?
Sadly, it's not. Sadly not. My old man passed away and everyone in the family had to do their own thing. So, that business kind of dried up. But if it weren't for me having that time in that business and having my old man beside me, I wouldn't be where I am today. So it was definitely a great place and great time when I was there, basically.
Oh, wicked. Yeah, great learning ground. And did you go straight... Did you have your transport manager's CPC whilst you were there, or did you get that after?
No, I got it. Yeah, I got it after because basically other parts of the family were doing the CPC, and I was never good at school, never good at doing exams. A bit of a wise boy sort of thing. So I never decided to do it and never thought of doing it whatsoever. It wasn't until I left working for the removal business that I went and become a lorry driver for Build Base. It was actually a company called Crescent, but they were partnered with Build Base, which is a huge company at the time. And that was when I got so fed up being a lorry driver, got my hire crane license, delivering building materials, and just fell into a job, not a career path or anything like that. So it wasn't until the wife actually brought it for me as, I think it was a Christmas or a birthday present, can't remember now, but she probably saw it as an investment, really. I thought, what on earth is this? But she definitely thought it was her money back. So, and she definitely got her money back now, that's for sure.
I was going to say a little subtle hint to say you need to start contributing a bit more.
100%. So it wasn't until I got my CPC. I was currently doing my CPC, and I basically pressured them to create a new job role for me. And they finally found me one after me pestering the regional manager, which I weren't supposed to be contacting. I was phoning them up, found the meeting, pushed, and they finally got me a job role as an auditor for Buildbase. So I was their southern auditor, going around keeping people's operator licenses compliant within the business. And that was where sort of pin dropped, and I was like, hang on, I actually enjoy what I do, and I went full steam ahead to go get my CPC. So yeah, that was the sort of moment that I decided to go full steam ahead and do it, basically.
Yeah, wicked. So already from the outset, you were kind of trying to find your little niche, your little lane in the transport management industry, rather than thinking that you could just sit on a license and just look after a few trucks doing a bit of compliance. You saw the auditing path and the consultancy path, which is obviously opens up a much bigger business career path, earning potential in that transport management sector.
Yeah, 100%. The role itself created the passion that I've got today, and I love compliance. Really sad, but I love it, and I think you kind of have to love it to be in this industry and be an external transport manager or internal transport manager, or even like logistics, operations, any type of management in this sector in the transport world, warehousing. You kind of have to have that passion and have that ability to have a look at compliance and respect it.
100%, and it's in any walk of life, really. If you lack that passion, then it's just always going to be a job. It's always going to be something you have to get up in the morning to go and do, isn't it? Rather than just something that you're able to feed your family and enjoy doing. So that's great that you found that passion for it as well. So that'll lead me quite nicely into sort of like how you made that jump to where you are today. As I've touched on earlier, you're the owner of To Be Compliant, which is you're not just a transport manager sitting on someone's O license. You've got a compliance company. You do auditing, you do training, you have your franchisors sat below you, and we're starting the school community. You're obviously very entrepreneurial. You don't want to just be a consultant doing compliance, a Buildbase.
No.
You've taken great strides to expand on your CPC and use it in big ways. So how did you make that move from Buildbase, just traveling around doing some auditing and compliance, to realizing that you want much bigger things from this industry, from those niches?
I think when I was doing the auditing side of things, I think I realised that there is no operating centre operator license that is 100% compliant. And I think it was then when I was like, okay, right, if I can keep a big company like that, a multi-million pound business like that compliant, and the best of my ability of keeping them compliant, I realised that I can do this elsewhere. So when I left there, I went and become an external transport manager for myself. Never done it before. And realised that there was other businesses out there that aren't compliant. So me going in, doing an audit, getting them compliant and everything, I realised that I was actually good at my job, and I was highly respected everywhere I went. Well, not when you first turn up as an auditor. I think the first thing people want is you out. But I think
Exactly.
Yeah, they put you in the corner, put the aircon on, and see you later. But I think once you've got the ability of being able to talk to people, find out what's wrong, because all these people's lives evolve around an operator license. Like their mortgages are paid, their employees are paid, and everything. So it's one of those things. Yeah, you just got to keep them compliant, and that's when the name come up, was To Be Compliant, because everyone wants to be compliant. And every time someone spoke to me, they were like, oh, Darren, I want to be compliant. How do I do this? And that's where the name come from. And just from there is I I moved up the chain. So I went and worked for little businesses and little companies, 1 and 2 vehicles. And I went to a sort of medium-sized sort of business with 200 vehicles, 300 trailers scattered around. Obviously, you got a team behind you when you do that. And then I found opportunity to work for Network Rail, looking after 1,600 vehicles and 3,000 drivers, team underneath you there. And I think where I've had that sort of growth and that experience from looking after small companies all the way up to government funded businesses, you kind of get a gauge of what needs to be done. And when you look at it, every operator, no matter how big or small it is, they all come up with exactly the same issues. It might be on a wider scale, but everyone still needs to be compliant. And from that, I knew it was my passion to come work for myself, set up the business. And where I've been doing it for so long, I've made so many mistakes and lessons learned that when I was out by myself, it's a very lonely world as an external transport manager, and especially when you do that. And that one of the reasons why I set up the franchise is to help people and support people. So instead of people struggling like I did for 5-6 years as an external transport manager, they can cookie cut into my role and become a transport consultant. And then I help them become a transport manager for themselves, because obviously you can't be a limited company as a transport manager, but I'll train people how to be competent and experience as a transport manager. But not only that, is by opening doors into all the other sectors and other cash flow revenues that you can do as a consultant.
Yeah, that's a great little sort of, like I say, niche you found and spotted. Because like I say, any industry or any company, large or small, they'll come across the same problems when it comes to compliance. And you spend your time with those businesses coming up with the systems to get them all from non-compliant to compliant, from A to D to E to F. And once you've got those systems created and in place, then you're able to teach these and pass them on to other people and help other consultants. It's brilliant. When I first met you and I found out about the franchise, I'd never heard of anything like that before in the industry. And it is. I mean, we'll get on to my story in episode 2, but I can see how someone could either be not forced into getting their CPC, but they might just work for a family business as you did, and they might need to get a transport manager on the books quick smart. So someone's kind of pushed into going and getting that done, but then afterwards they don't realise what they could do with this. Or it might be a HGV driver who's been driving for 25 years and doesn't want to spend another 10 years in the cab, but thinks he might be able to do his CPC and still stay at the same company. But they just don't realise the scope that you can have with that qualification. So for you to go out there and explore every single corner that you can do with that qualification is great. And it's the progress you made is, as I say, from someone who's known you for a few months now, it's very very great to see. And it's kind of enticing as well. It gives me a kick up the arse to try and go out and grab more from what I have. So no, wicked. So get into the industry, as you say. You've been with sort of government funded companies and small 1 and 2 lorry operators. What do you feel the state of the transport industry is right now? Like, is it broken? Is it progressing well? What are some of the things that you could snap your fingers and change if you could, to help both the operators as well as, say, the guys who are in compliance, trying to keep those operators on the straight and narrow?
I think if you want true honesty, without me,
let's do it. That's what it's all about.
Basically. So there's amazing people out there, some amazing transport managers and consultants and businesses that want to be compliant. But through my experience and time in this industry, there's a lot more people out there that want to try to wallpaper over cracks, they spend more time trying to not do it compliant than being compliant, which then it backfires on them later on down the line. I do think everything's now going compliant. Like back in the day, you'd have the lorries with the taco disc and people call them frisbees and all that, and I could see why, but you just can't get away with it. And I say to all my clients, like when they're asking me, can you do this, can you do that, I just say, just don't, just do what is recommended. Have a decent transport manager, consultant to come in that actually turns up every week. And helps you. Like, there's so many people out there. I'm not naming names or anything like that. I'm not that type of person. But I go in after someone's been in trouble, and as soon as they've been in trouble, their transport manager runs a mile because they know that they've not been doing what their job is supposed to be. They've been collecting their money, but not doing what they're supposed to be. So I come in and kind of wipe up their mess. So yeah, it's. I would say that there needs to be a lot more compliance involved and more people that actually want to be compliant. And I think personally there should be extra educated sort of courses that transport managers should be doing on a regular, not just a TM refresher course every 5 years. I actually do think there should be more stuff out there. And I think probably leading from that question that you're probably going to ask me shortly is, like, why have me and you decided to set up this school community? And I think that's basically the reasons why me and you have sat down and done that. But I'll let you ask that question. I don't want to jump the gun. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, we will be covering that towards the end. But you're right. Like you mentioned, it's being a transport manager, especially an external one, it can be a very lonely existence, especially if that's just your income, your only career. You'd just be travelling maybe to 2, 3 or 4 premises once a week, and like you say, you tend to not to be too welcomed when you are there because you're the one there who's going to give the operator a list of stuff that he's not doing right and that he has to change, and you want to see change by the next time you come back. Whereas the operator just wants to get his lorry out on the road. Yeah. He doesn't want it to have it parked up for half a day because he didn't get the wheels retorqued or something, and he's got to wait for them to be retorqued. He just wants to get it out, and then I've seen that as well. But it's with the community that we'll get on to later. We set up because we both saw that area of the industry missing, where you could support the external transport manager and help people who come into the industry with a CPC, whether they were made to get it by an employer or they wanted to change a career and have a little bit more freedom, so they decided to get it themselves, just to support them and get the full use of it themselves. So, but we'll come on to that a little bit later, because it's what we're doing with the community is, I feel, very exciting. But getting back to your job in hand, so there's quite a lot to unpack there. You're a family man as well. You're on operators licenses. You've got, how many franchisees have you got now set up that you're supporting?
Currently got 3, but we've got 6 discovery calls going on as we speak. So they're going to be national. So one currently in Liverpool, one in Scotland, one in Nottingham, a few down south. So yeah, we've got another 6 discovery calls happening, but until they sign that dotted line, you can't really count them, if you know what I mean. But we've got three great franchisees at the moment, one in Essex, one in Aylesbury, one in Oxford. So we're doing well. I'm doing it in waves. I'm not going to go full steam ahead and just get hundreds. That's not me. I want to make sure that whoever comes on with to be compliant, or even with the community, like, I want to make sure that they're the right people that come with us, basically, that follow us and will help move this business forwards.
Yeah, and you need to make sure you're obviously able to offer them the support they need to begin with. Like you say, if you just rolled out 20 franchisees straight away, that you'd struggle to give them all the support straight away, so you could build that structure. And you also do training and auditing as well, don't you? Was that something that's currently getting off the ground?
Yeah. So auditing, one of our sort of business goals was end of last year was to become a DVSA approved auditing company, which we are now approved with the standards of ISO 9001. And this year, my first franchisee, Bogdan, absolutely amazing guy. He's shown so much respect for the business and everything. He wanted to become a trainer. So we actually sat down, and I've supported him, and we've set up a business of To Be Compliant Training Limited. It's just a bolt on to the To Be Compliant business. And yeah, we're going full steam ahead. We've been in operation since I believe February, March. We are full steam ahead. Bookings coming in left, right, and centre. So it's just nice, and it just makes sense. Where I was subbing out all the work previously, auditing and the training, it just made perfect sense. As with my network and everything around me, I know quite a lot of people. People always ask me, done referrals, and I was like, well, it's just silly for me to just refer it to other people, even though I had some great trainers and that, but I might as well do it myself. And when Bogdan come and reached out to me, asking for more work and stuff like that, and he's so proactive, such a great character, I thought it would be silly to not do anything with him. So I've got a business going on with him as well. So it's things are moving in the right place at the right pace as well. So it's not too fast. Do you know what I mean?
No, and what I've noticed about you as well is we spoke about your being an entrepreneur, and I think that the listeners can gather that by listening to yourself in your journey, that you definitely do embody that. But with that usually becomes a heap of stress. And what you seem to be good at, as well as handling the stress, is just figuring out ways to, in the future, share that load, but not in a negative way. Because you've said to me on many occasions that when you set something up with someone, like you say, like Bogdan becoming a trainer and now becoming part of your training company, and with myself for the school community, you want everyone to win. You want everyone to do well, everyone to eat. And it's not just a case of, this kicking up this training company, getting stressful, the workload's coming on. Why don't I take on a business partner to help share it? You don't do it for that. You do that because you want this guy to come on and, although contribute to the business and help elevate it, but also for everyone to be successful in it. And I've not met many people in my life like that, and that's why I was just so keen to do something with you. So the stress, the pressure, how do you handle it outside of kind of finding business partners to come on with and share the good and the bad with? Day to day, because it's just as a normal external transfer manager, you get enough worry and stress with the compliance and your license being on the line. What is Darren doing to
I think for me, it might not be the same for everyone else, but it's family life. It's my wife, and I think that is what is keeping me sane, because without that, I would be in a mental ward, curled up into a ball. But yeah, if it weren't for my wife, she's been there from day one. Do you know what I mean? She's the one that heavily invested in but yeah, I definitely think it's family life that definitely works. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe that's why we get on so well as well, because that's exactly the same as myself. That's how I de-stress, even though with little kids at home, it's not exactly unstressful. Shutting that front door when I get in, it's kind of easier to shut the world and the stress behind it. So, wicked. So we've gone over how you built your consultancy. Whilst you've done it, you've gone from being employed to being a business owner. What's been the biggest lesson you've learned running your own consultancy?
Biggest lesson.
Have you had any regrets or any points where you've thought about maybe giving up and just going back to PAYE life?
No. The honest answer to that is no. I think being in that corporate world for several years, going into London, KPIs, reports, people telling you what to do when they don't have a clue what you're doing. I will never, ever go back into that life. And touch wood, I don't have to, I don't need to, but no. I think as long as you're continuously developing yourself, progression, and you want to, you got to love what you do at the end of the day, whether it's transport, whether it's a hobby or anything like that. I always say to everyone that it's not a job if you love doing it. So I don't see this as a job role or anything like that. I enjoy it. So for me, it's a bit of a hobby, but I make money on it. So it's a no-brainer. and the beauty of it is I'm helping people, and I love to help people. So when I see people become more compliant, or someone who's come and approached me and said, look, I'm thinking about being a transport manager. I've been on some groups and people have asked me stuff and taken the mick out of me and all this stuff. I take them under my wing. I don't know why. I just seem to do it, and I just enjoy helping people to become successful. So I would never go back into PAYE. I love what I do. You work hard, but at the end of the day, I can drop the kids off to school every day. I do what I've got to do. I can go to the gym halfway through the day if I really want to. I haven't been for a while, you can probably tell by my belly, but I pick the kids up. Tomorrow's sports day with the kids, so I'll be out there running, trying to do the dad race, losing, but I'm there to it's all about family work-life balance, and if I wasn't getting it, I wouldn't be doing it. So I absolutely love it.
Oh mate, you'll have to let me know how you get on in the dad race. I've got a very harrowing story to tell next. Well, I'll tell it now and I'll show you the photos. But you hear about every now and again that they don't do the parents race anymore because they're worried about parents getting injured. I was the dad. That was the reason Amelie's, my little girl's school, stopped the parents' races.
That is hilarious.
I stacked it doing the race, and I was in shorts, and it was real hot weather, and it was like the ground was dead hard. All the grass had balded off the field, and I stacked it and just took the skin all off down the side of my knee and my calf. It looked almost like I'd had a motorbike accident.
Oh.
Proper stacked in front of everyone, and that was it. That was the last year they did the parents' race.
I've got to see the pictures. Got to see the pictures, mate.
Yeah, and the other half would never let me live it down, because worst of all was that she did the mums race beforehand and won it. So she wins the mums race, and then I go in on the dad's race, stack it, and it's very hard for me to forget about. So you talking about helping people and being a bit of a voice in the industry on forums when you can be, to pass on sort of knowledge, segues nicely into what we're starting to do, the school community. So let's have a little talk about that now. Why the hell are we doing it to ourselves? Okay, you're a busy man, I'm a busy man. This is another, not just a business we're starting, but it's a way for us to kind of give back and use a bit of our time, the little that we have, to help and pass on to others. So, just give the listeners a little bit of a download on what this community is and what it's all about.
Yeah, for sure. So the community come from when I first met you, wasn't it? And being your transport manager, and obviously I'll let you tell your story in episode 2. So I think I've had a passion of helping and supporting people my whole life, and when I've become established external transport manager, I helped so many people, but every time, because it's a lonely world when you're external, or you're fighting for contracts and stuff like that, and people local say they're your friends and they watch you trip up because you're fighting for the same clients, aren't you? And you sign up to these Facebook groups and all these other free groups and everything, and you put a question in, you're like, I'm not too sure, I'll put it in there, and you get absolutely slated. You get absolutely bombarded with people puffing their chests and trying to make you feel stupid and all that. And I did it. I did do it. I'll try to find the post that I asked, and I will try to find it and share it on here. All the grief I got for asking, I can't remember what the question was, say stupid probably, but in the day, I just needed that help and support. I needed someone to put their arm around me and basically give me some advice at the time, and I got nothing. I got completely opposite to that. So when I was speaking to you in the office when we're doing some compliance work and that, you mentioned this and what we're doing now with other sort of subscriptions that you're on and stuff like that, and I was like, I've been trying to do it, you understand it, and that's where I sort of light bulb moment come in, where I was like, right, let's go and do this community, let's go full steam ahead. And I think I don't want to go into too much with yourself because obviously episode 2 is about you, Leo, but you've got passion, you've got drive, you're entrepreneurial, business focus, and this is where me and you, our partnership sort of blossomed, wasn't it? And we decided, right, let's go full steam ahead. So the community itself is a fair, no ego whatsoever community, where anyone can ask a question and you're not going to get slated, and we're making sure that no one's on there that's going to make anyone feel bad, because if they do feel bad, we're going to kick them out anyway, Leo, aren't we? So
100%, yeah.
We're not going to allow it. And with my background, my knowledge, and my franchise model, we've got so many partnerships and companies, referrals and royalties and schemes that anyone that comes part of this community, and this is why I want to make sure everyone eats a bit of the cake, is everyone can make money through this community.
So a good segue now then, after you chat about how you had a craving to support others in the industry and help where you can, let's talk a little bit about our school community. Look, we've got plenty on our plates. You're running businesses, I'm running businesses. What the hell are we doing? Why have we started the school community? Tell me.
Yeah, definite. So yeah, meeting you as an external transfer manager for you and your business, which you'll probably go into detail in episode 2. So I don't want to spoil anything there. But yeah, so seeing you, your passion, you're very like-minded like myself. It made sense for us to join forces. And I've always been wanting to do some sort of training, e-learning community, a bit like the Facebook groups. And with your knowledge of how to do this and everything, that it just made sense for us to go together. And talking about like the Facebook groups and all that sort of stuff is, when I first started out, I thought I'd join these free groups and everything. It's happy days. You've got 7,000 external transit managers on there, and they're all going to help you and that. And I'm not slating everyone on them. There are some amazing people on there. But as soon as you put a question on there, whether you don't know it or not, you get absolutely slated, and people just want to take the mick out of you, basically. I was about to swear, but yeah. So it's like our community is for like-minded transport managers, whether you're new, old, getting into this role or whatever it is. I want people to feel comfortable, and also yourself, Leo, we've agreed that we're not going to have anyone in there that's going to make anyone feel bad for asking questions.
No,
I don't want anyone to put a question on there anonymous, because at the end of the day, I want people to feel confident and feel happy that they can have their name on there against it. And yeah, we just want to give people our knowledge, because you've got a world of knowledge of you and your experience in this industry as well, Leo. And we're going to have our franchisees on there that eventually become mentors, and we're going to have people working up different trainings. We've got all different levels. We've got free courses. We've got like paid courses. We've got the franchise model on there. There's going to be royalties and discounts and referral fees. So it's a place for like-minded people, no egos, no nothing. And I want people to be able to make money whilst they're part of our community. So it's not just all the free stuff we're giving. We've created it so people can actually benefit from it and make money from it. And end of the day, we all need to make money. We all need to do this, and it's a paid subscription. But the way that we've designed it, eventually your subscription is going to be free, because you're going to be using our resources and tools that will then generate this as a free community. But the beauty of it is we're going to be ironing out all those people that would actually make you feel bad and make you question yourself of actually asking a question like you would in those Facebook groups and anything free, basically. So that's the reason why we designed it. And I think going forwards, as time goes by, it's going to get bigger and bigger, and more resources, more everything. So super excited about this, and super excited doing it with you, Leo, as well.
Yeah, because as you mentioned, that's why we clicked. Two like-minded guys, because you do the Transport Manager CPC, you get your qualification, and it is quite a tough thing to pass. It's an intense course. I did the 2-week classroom course, and you've got the exam at the end. You've got this huge binder folder that I've never touched since. But once you've got that, you're out there in a big bad world. You come against so many different compliance questions, issues when you're actually out there with an operator, whether you're employed or you're external, and you just want somewhere that you can, like a safe space where you can go and ask for advice, because it doesn't matter whether you passed your CPC 4 weeks ago and you're on someone's license, or you've been your PAYE with a local firm, or you've been a transport manager for 30 years, you're still going to come up with situations where you're not quite sure and you don't want to fall foul of the traffic commissioner. So you just want somewhere you can go and ask a question, or just chat with like-minded people in the same industry as you, as we touched on earlier. It's a lonely industry sometimes. So our community school, for people that don't know, is just a platform for people to create communities, whether you're into crochet, knitting, paddle boards, whether you're just a vegan and you want to share recipes, or you're a transport manager and you just want to be able to chat with other transport managers and ask questions and listen to podcasts about transport management and logistics, or watch webinars discussing latest legislation that's been released, or just a free course just to touch on something that you may not have worked on for years and maybe count towards your CPD. This the school community is going to be that place, and I'm so excited for it, because it's just going to feed in to both yours, Darren, and mine kind of quest just to give back and help others. And you've already touched on the kind of person who will thrive in the group, and that's just someone who is just eager to sort of like add value. More than welcome to ask 1,000 questions, but then once you've been in there a little while, through your experience, just help others, just add that value to the community. And that's my big goal for the community. Like, from 2 years from now, I'd love it to be full of 500, 1,000, 1,500 like-minded transport managers. You might even get operators in there who might be on a restricted license, but they're diligent and they want to know that they're doing things right, and they want a place that they can just go and learn and ask questions. And just have a community board that's just full of lots of people just chatting, asking questions, engaging, being active. That'd be wicked. I don't know about you, Darren, but what are your goals for the community?
Everything. My aim is, I really want people to just feel comfortable that we're coaching and everyone becomes a teacher. Everyone, because I'm not an expert in everything, you're not an expert in everything. We're experts in our fields that we do on a day-to-day. But I want people in there, subject matter experts, that are in ADR or driver training and all different areas that people can rely on. So you're not going to get told silly information because someone wants you to trip up or someone thinks that they're the best. I just want us to coach everyone to become the best that they physically can be. And if it means asking a silly question that you don't know and not getting someone to rip the piss out of you, excuse my language, but that's where my passion comes from. And it's all about coaching people, because everyone has to start at the beginning. And everyone is, at the end, is fully experienced in whatever role they've been in. So it's one of those things. And sometimes you just, you know the answer, but sometimes it's just nice to bounce off someone to sort of reassure you, because when you're external transport manager, you say something wrong, and you're not 100% right, you get absolutely slated for it. Do you know what I mean? You could go to public inquiry and lose your good repute as a transport manager that you've worked so hard for. So the community for me is just basically like-minded transport managers, or like you say, operators. It could be warehouse people. It could be logistic managers, someone that maybe not even on the O license, but someone that actually manages fleets of vehicle or drivers or looking after vehicles, all that. Like, this is the place to go to where everyone can just sit down and relax and just learn, get what they need from it, basically.
Brilliant. And we'll just finish with a bit of a rapid fire round. I'm not quite sure how long we've been going for now, but if we wrap up with these questions, just go with your gut though. There's only 5 of them.
Okay.
But
I'm scared.
Don't worry. Don't be scared. I'll the worst part of being a transport manager.
Worst part is thinking you've got something wrong, even though you know that it's right, but it's just twigging in the back of your mind.
Brilliant. Most underrated part of the job?
Ooh, when you've got someone compliant, for example, like an audit, and they say thank you, and they just go and never speak to you ever again.
Yeah, until years down the line, and they get inquiry, and all of a sudden they found the number again. Energy drink or coffee?
Coffee all day long.
Oh, I love a coffee. What quote that sticks with you?
Well, I've got to say my own quote here, literally, and I am the Shakespeare of compliance. It's to be or not to be compliant. So I love that question. Thank you very much.
That's all right, mate. And what would you say to a 20-year-old starting out in the industry?
I would say become a subject matter expert in that industry, even if it wasn't our industry. Just become an expert in that. Do a lot of training. Lot of research and mentors, rub knees with people. Sorry, that should have been a quick answer, but yeah, be an expert. Yeah,
that's brilliant. Yeah, that's similar to mine. Yeah, never stop learning and find a mentor.
Amazing.
Right. Well, that was. I think that's a solid effort for our first podcast.
Appreciate that.
I appreciate you jumping on, mate, and opening up like that. So if you are listening and this resonated with you, do check out our school community. As I say, we're there. We'll dive into the stuff daily with people who actually do the job, and the community will grow, the offers will grow, and these podcasts will grow. So, and there are also links in the description, so to the community. So here's up, join the tribe, and we'll catch you in the next episode.
Amazing. And I can't wait for episode 2, Leo, because it's all about you, mate. Everyone's listened to me and probably fallen asleep, so I want to ask you, and I'm not telling you what the questions are either, I'm stitching you up.
That was easy on you.
Well, thank you very much, everyone, for listening. The Transport Manager Coach. Thank you very much.